Hello, I'm Joe Dewhurst, and I'm here with Peter Evans today. We're going to be playing Chalice of Poison, recently released on GMT's P500. This is a game by Akar Bharadvaj about the Iran-Iraq War in the 1980s, where each of us plays one of the two sides, Iran and Iraq, and we have to balance our regime stability against investing in the strength of our commanders on various fronts and other things that you'll see as the game unfolds. You should see in front of you the game board through Peter's camera. He'll be focusing on various aspects of the game as we go, and we'll be explaining what we're doing. I'm not going to give a whole overview of the rules before we play, but we will describe our choices and explain some of the rules as we go. The basic structure of the game, though, is that each year we will take actions to improve our military in various ways, then assign orders to our different fronts and carry out those orders against each other, and then check for victory and unrest and proceed to the next round, more or less. So let's just jump in then, Peter.
Yeah, let's go.
Uh, so the game, if you could look at the sequence of play aid, perhaps for the viewers here, the game begins here with the planning phase, where in future turns we're going to advance the turn, but we've already done that. We then roll for our economies, which are currently at full strength. So I'm going to roll these three dice here. And I rolled a 8 in total. And we're going to use all three of these, and we get to move cubes here from either reserve or exhausted around the circle towards ready. And once cubes are in ready, we can use them for various actions. But the trick here, and this is one of the key parts of the game really, is we're going to be spending these cubes on various actions and to strengthen our commanders. If we ever run out of cubes in reserve and ready, which is classed as our regime, we can suffer regime collapse and lose the game. So we need to balance moving cubes out of exhausted into reserve and then from reserve into ready. But I'm going to be bold and move a bunch from reserve to ready. I think Peter is doing the same thing here. No, he's moving from exhausted to reserve. Intriguing. I'm going all in on readying some cubes in this first round.
That seems insane to
Um,
me, but you
yeah,
go
we'll see.
ahead.
Yeah. Uh, then we've done that now. We also then the current VP leader, which is me. So we have a VP track here, War Progress track. It starts with Iraq slightly in the lead, and I actually remember now that there is a setup step we missed, unfortunately, because there has to be an initial Iraq advance into Iran, which I'm just going to roll for now. This is randomly determined at the beginning of the game. So the Iraq ground front advances one step, and I lose a chevron, which is an army strength on that front.
So
Um,
it's the northern
did
front.
mean to do that before we started, but never mind. So this advances here, and that's going to let me replenish one extra cube as I advance, and we'll explain more about that later. So that's just the kind of initial beginning of the war there. Um, okay, that's happened. With that said, I'm going to draw because I'm in the lead. I'm going to draw just one card, I believe, one commander card,
I
personnel
think you
card.
rolled a three, two threes and a two, so you should
I
get
did.
two.
You're right.
Yeah.
I get two, and Peter draws three, and we'll explain more about how we use these a bit later. But basically, that's a small advantage for whoever is losing the war as personnel flock to their command structure. Now, before we take actions, we're going to assign an order to each of our fronts. So if we look at the board, we can explain this in a bit more detail now. The board's got, at the start of the game, 5 different fronts. So we've got air, which is our two air forces, then north, center, and south on the ground, and finally the naval front. There is a sixth front which can be unlocked during the game, but that may or may not happen. So we won't worry about it now. Each front is just a kind of push-pull kind of thing here. So I've pushed into the north. Otherwise, we're kind of tied along the fronts here. The air front works a bit differently, and we'll explain that when we get to it. You'll see each box here has got various effects on it, like victory point stars and refreshing cubes, which are done when you move into those spaces. We'll describe those as we do them. Um, and what we're going to do now is assign orders to each of our fronts. We're going to do this secretly, so we've got these secret tiles. Peter might show you his if you're lucky while he does them. But we're not meant to know what the other person is planning on each front, essentially. So let's stick those in now. And what we're doing, just to talk through what we're doing here, each we've got a series of commanders. So we've got an air commander, a naval commander, and then a paramilitary, regular army, and ground commander, guard commander, sorry. And for the ground fronts, we're actually assigning a specific commander to that front. And the commander's got different abilities, which we'll see come into play soon as well, I think. Okay. Okay. Okay, my orders are all assigned. How are you doing, Peter?
Just having a little think.
It's okay. It's allowed.
It's allowed, is it?
Yeah. Okay. So once we've assigned our orders, we are going to alternate taking actions, beginning with, in this case, Iran, so the player who's behind. And the actions we're taking, we're going to be spending cubes on. And Peter can have a little look at the action area down here. So we have 4 basic actions: coordinate, empower, promote, and train. But these all start off at level 0, so they're quite weak. They don't have much effect. So we're going to need to spend regime power to enhance these. And this represents investment in various areas of our military command structures. However, you can also pass, which resets your action pawns here and allows you to do one of 3 things: refresh one of your cubes, draw a personnel card, or take one of the desperate measures. So these desperate measure tiles are revealed each turn. We start with 3 revealed here, and they have various conditions on them. But I think at least one of them, maybe 2, are already available now, and they have various kind of mixed effects. So the War of the Cities, Peter could play because he's on lower VP. And that would allow him to start bombarding my cities, but would also allow me to follow suit. So would hurt both of us probably. The Chalice of Poison is basically an offer of a peace treaty. So you'll gain a VP, but you'll reduce the objective marker. So if we look at the war progress track here, Peter, you'll see there's this peace stub, this objective marker that moves down each turn and basically represents the willingness to continue fighting on both sides, and it marks where you need to get to win. So Peter could choose to take this Chalice of Poison now, which would give him a kind of moral advantage, but mean that the game would probably end sooner, and he may not want to do that. We'll see. Although now isn't a bad time to take it, frankly. The missile purchase we can only do once our economy is lower, and this basically represents foreign actors like the US getting involved to try and prop up one side or the other. And that actually, I think, lowers your economy, doesn't it? And then inflicts some hits on the enemy.
Yeah, 3 chevrons worth of hits, so you can remove it from any front. So you're spending a bit of economy in order to do some damage, purchasing missiles, basically.
Yeah.
Hence the name is missile purchase. Yeah, I'm not sure I needed to explain that, but
No, it's fine. Always useful to give it a go. Yep.
Okay, so when we're taking actions in this phrase, we're often going to be taking these ready cubes in order to do an action. But there's a couple of things that you can do with each action. So at the moment they're all the same. So you've got this kind of upward arrow and it says C0 to C1. What that's going to let me do is upgrade this card. So I go basically from coordinate level 0 to level 1. And then you can see it turns into C1 to C2. So if I was to do it again, I'd have to pass in order to do that, because this is like a replacement kind of game. So you essentially each time would be able to upgrade your card by doing that, but you've got to put cubes on these spaces. So in order to upgrade to coordinate 2, I would have to have cubes like this. So I'm only going to be able to upgrade twice on these cards if Joe lets me, without us both passing in a row, which will end this phase. So I've got to think really carefully about how many of these cubes I'm putting into ready, how many I'm keeping in the regime, which is ready and reserve, and how many I'm going to be exhausting each time. And I need to think about where I'm going to be investing. And then the other option that I've got, let me just pop that back, is you can see there's this little kind of soldier icon ×1, and it says discard a personality card. So I can discard one of the cards in my hand, and I fill the chevrons of one of my commanders. So they will have one, the ground commanders at the moment. But I could fill, say, this airspace, I could fill the navy, or I could fill one of these ground tracks with chevrons. As you upgrade, that eventually becomes ×2, so you can do 2 commanders, and then if we flip, these actually go even further, so you can get all the way up to 3 commanders. But you'll have to have 7 cubes invested in that particular capability. I don't know what these are actually called, Joe, the order. So that, think about 7, that's a lot.
I think it would only be, sorry, just to clarify, I think it would only be 4 locked onto it, but you would have had to spend more to get to that point.
Oh, yes, sorry, I forgot that
Yep.
the ones you've already invested then go to exhausted.
Yes.
So if you do it on one turn, that is a lot that you're taking out of the regime. But yes, sorry, that was unclear. So I've got to think about what I want to do. It's not a bad idea to pass on the first turn to grab one of these desperate measures, but none of them actually are things that I want to be doing. I'd have to roll 2 3s to do a damage to Joe's economy, or essentially I'm just lowering the objective, so I'm making it more likely that we'll make peace. And at the start of the game, I'm not sure whether that's actually to my advantage or not, because I don't really know how things are going. So rather than doing that, it'd be really nice if I had my economy at 4 or lower, ironically, just to start bombing you. So rather than doing that, I will advance one of my cards, I think. And it's a question of which one I want to be doing. So is it worth talking through the different effects of each of these?
Yeah,
Joe,
I'll have a little stab at that. So they do slightly different things as you increase them, but essentially, coordinate allows you to more directly control what your commanders are doing on the ground. So after each ground battle, there's a phase called Lessons Learned, and this will help you help your commanders learn the right lessons. It also allows your commanders to coordinate between each other eventually, which can make them more effective, but can also increase the risk of a coup. Empower basically allows you to control the how your commanders will be fighting more, and we'll talk more about that in a minute. But it's a way to directly enhance the strength of them in combat, but it also empowers them, which again can make them more risky to your regime. So there's a common theme here, which is as you improve the capability of your commanders, your regime comes under risk, and this is really the core tension of the game. That both these regimes were worried about internal threats like coups. And that made them worse at fighting in the conventional battles against each other because they didn't trust their best commanders lots of the time. Promote, on the other hand, allows you to put new commanders into place, either to replace an existing commander or if you've lost a commander on a front. And you can promote in a couple of ways. You can promote through the ranks essentially, or you can put somebody new from your hand into play. And finally, train allows you to improve a commander directly who's already in the field. That's it, I think, isn't it, Peter?
Yeah, pretty much. So I'm having a look at what I've got in my hand, and I'm thinking whether these might be useful. I'm also looking at the stats, so I'll just talk you through that quickly. The 2 boxes in the top left are cubes which come from the regime section. So that's your investment in the commander, that kind of risk-reward aspect Joe was talking about. And then we've got a bunch of stars in the top, which are assigned to one of 3 suits. These are the suits in battle. You'll notice that they have names: leadership, discipline, and fervor. And then if we look at the bottom right-hand side of the card, whilst it's in this horizontal mode, we can see it says Fervor and it's purple. So essentially we're matching that when we draw cards from the deck. If we draw a card that matches our commander's stars, basically, then you do that many hits. So for example, this commander is quite versatile and better than the commanders that we can see out across the board. But if I look at this naval commander, these are assigned randomly from a kind of base set of level 1 commanders. This naval commander is guaranteed to do 1 hit because I'm going to be drawing from the deck and each card is going to be in one of these 3 suits. Whereas with this commander of my paramilitaries, if I was to draw discipline, there's no star, so they would miss. So they have essentially, roughly speaking, a 2 in 3 chance of hits across most of them, just slightly different on each one. And then there's this one commander who's more reliable, basically. So my question really, in terms of what I'm thinking about doing, is, well, do I want to play out one of the commanders from my hand, who is better than one of the commanders currently on the board, or do I want to be empowering the commanders that I've got in order to give them better battle plans? Or do I want to maybe think about upgrading commanders and giving them additional hits? And that's what this line is, the dashed line. Physically, it's going to be a lot easier than this. It will be possible on TTS, but it might be a bit clunky, basically. But say if I was to put this card underneath, you'd get those top 2 stars out of the discipline. So there's a few different options of how we are going to try and give our commanders a bit more latitude, a bit more capacity. But then, which one are we going to choose really varies based on what we're drawing and what our overall preferences are and what our strategy is. So I have not tried an empower strategy and I haven't really tried a train strategy. So I might give that a go, actually, and actually try and train some of my commanders. But I'm a little bit worried if I was to lose a commander right now, I won't be able to promote anyone. So I'm actually going to start by upgrading my promote. So what I do is I pop my pawn on the spot, I pop the card up to say that it's upgraded, and then I place a cube on the card, which is going to stay there until it upgrades again, and then that cube will come down to exhausted.
And we didn't mention this completely explicitly, but Peter's now placed his pawn there, which means he can't take the promote action again until he passes. And passing, which he did talk about doing earlier, runs the risk of your opponent passing as well, which then ends this action round. And even if they're not fully ready, they might think they have the edge on you, and then do that to move into the combat round, the battle phase. I'm going to go for Empower, which is my old favorite, and we'll see how that goes. So I'm going to place a cube on that.
Joe is very fond of the Empower strategy. So, question for me is whether I want to discard a card to fill some of my reinforcements or upgrade some more of my cards. And what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to pass, and I'm going to discard one of my personnel cards in order to fill my... let's do the Navy Commander just to have it ready.
We could talk a little bit about the chevrons here. So you'll see that each of Peter's fronts and my fronts has a number of chevrons on it, which indicates the current military strength there. These chevrons Peter just placed are the naval reserve. So a couple of his orders he's placed, either regroup or defend, will allow him to move chevrons from that reserve up to the front. But you'll see the different commanders and the different fronts have got different reserve capacities here. So Peter's paramilitaries are very good at reinforcing because there's large numbers there, whereas his air force is always going to be very slow to reinforce. And mine are a bit more standardized than his, but similarly have a few differences there. So Peter's reinforcing his navy, and I am going to... If I pass now, I would end this phase, which is tempting. But I think... Oh, no, you didn't... Did you pass? Yeah.
I did.
Oh, why... You actually... That action's not a pass action. That would be placing it on one of the actions.
It isn't. Yeah, I don't know what I'm thinking. Yeah, I'm supposed to have chosen one of the actions, not pass. So yeah.
Yeah, and use the base option there. That's fine. I will pass. I'm going to pass, and I'm going to. So one of the options here are refresh a cube, draw a personnel card, or take a desperate measure. I'm just going to move a cube from exhausted to reserve, and then I move all of my pawns back, which means I can use Empower again in future. Okay.
Yeah, that's quite important. So I'm going to do another refresh. Get rid of my card, put my chevrons out, and I'm just going to fill the Air Force.
Yeah. And I'm actually going to empower. I'm going to upgrade the empower action again. So the current level 1 of empower, if you zoom in on that, Peter, allows me to put a cube on a commander, which makes them more powerful. If a commander runs out of cubes, they're at risk of being removed, either being killed, maybe being executed by me, maybe going into exile, maybe just retiring. So this allows me to keep a commander alive, and also allows me to see what they're going to be doing in battle before it happens, which lets me plan better. But I'm upgrading this to Empower 2, so this cube moves to Exhausted, and I need to put 2 more cubes on this. Empower 2 is much more useful, because it means I'm going to be able to place a card from my hand directly onto that commander, which means I can guarantee what they're doing. And for me, this is particularly valuable, just to give the game away slightly to Peter, because I've got a commander here who's got 2 stars on Fervor. So he's useless unless he's using his Fervor. But if he is, he's going to be very powerful. So that gives me a big edge here with this particular commander.
So there we go. I am now actually going to pass, which is what I wanted to be doing, right?
Yes.
And I have possibly the option to refresh a cube, or I could draw a card. Now, I don't know that I need to draw a card right now. They are useful, but what is always important is having cubes in your regime. So I'm actually going to refresh a cube, and then it's over to Joe as to what he wants to do.
I will. I'm going to use Coordinate here just to discard a card to refresh one of my command areas. So I'll do that. And I will put them into the regular army there, I think.
And then I am going to promote, and I'm going to choose the option where I promote from outside of a stack. So I can go with an up to level 2 commander, promote level 1, which means I discard all the cards in the space and exhaust all the cubes there, and then I fill all the boxes of the new commander. So I'm going to remove my Air Force commander. That cube comes to the exhausted section. The commander is discarded. I feel like my rotation is either too sensitive or not sensitive enough, but not sensitive enough is better. So, yeah. And then from my hand, I'm going to place this commander into the Air Force, who is obviously a lot better. And I take these from ready, and I pop them on. Commander.
And you were limited to a level 2 commander, weren't you, with your
with that option.
Yeah.
With any level of promote after level 0, you can also promote from within the stack. So there'll be essentially cards placed in stacks here rather than just single cards. And yeah, if I had a better commander lower down in the stack, I could put them on top and actually keep the cube that is already within it. So it's less flexible, but cheaper.
And each of these action cards actually does have a little kind of descriptive title as well. So Peter's current level of promote is party members only, and then this is going to get more expansive as he increases it. But that's where it is currently. And the idea there is Peter's only promoting from within the party, so he's got a limited pool of capable commanders.
Yes. So Joe's upgraded from micromanagement of commanders through to having a nascent NCO core. So actually devolving power to your NCOs. Sounds very dangerous, Joe.
Yeah, it is a little.
Don't let them think.
Now, in an attempt to make use of that, I'm going to pass, but I suspect Peter is not going to let me take
there's
advantage
absolutely
of this.
no way that I am not going to pass here, because I don't have any cards in my hand, so I can't refill any more reinforcements. And I don't have any action cubes to actually upgrade anything, so I'm passing. And I'm just going to refresh a cube again, because again, this is the most important thing in the entire game. If you lose that, you essentially, it's so painful Peter, that you're very unlikely to stay in it.
You've lost twice now, I think, to a coup occurring, Peter.
I have, yes.
From this, yeah. Great. So that brings us then to the battle phase. And what's essentially happened is I've spent the time before battles investing in my NCO core and not really preparing much else at all. Whereas Peter's managed to promote a new Air Force commander, and we'll see if that pays off.
It will.
So in the battle phase, we go from my perspective, left to right, but top to bottom, I guess. So from air through to navy, and resolve our orders. So we'll flip these over, and each order, if we zoom in maybe on Peter's order, you'll see there are 4 different possible orders for the air: attack, defend, regroup, and subjugate. And each has a number which indicates its priority. So I'm defending, which is actually higher priority than Peter's, and would allow me to move 1 reinforcement chevron to my front, but I don't have any. And then it allows me to intercept Peter if I choose, if he chooses to attack, or in this case, he's subjugating. So Peter is attempting to subjugate one of his internal threats. We've each got 2 of these. Peter's got counter-revolutionaries and Arab dissidents. I've got Kurdish dissidents and Shia dissidents. These, again, are going to cause us problems, particularly if their total number of cubes is larger than the regime pile of cubes. Which is nowhere near for Peter, but even so, he's worried about his counter-revolutionaries. He's planning ahead here because the largest group of dissidents across both of us will have a worse effect at the end of each round, and I suspect he's going to try and bomb the counter-revolutionaries.
I am going to try and bomb the counter-revolutionaries, yes.
I'm actually going to... I think I can choose whether or not to intercept, can't I? Let me just double-check that that's true, but I believe it is.
I think it says on the counter.
Yeah, I can choose. Yeah, you're right. So, I'm actually not. I think I'm actually not going to intercept because I'm worried that will just damage my fragile air force too much because Peter's air force is much larger than mine. So I'm going to let him bomb the counter-revolutionaries unintercepted.
So I'm going to be drawing a personnel card. I'm going to be comparing it against the suits. So I want pink, but orange or purple will be fine. So I draw pink, which does 2 hits. The counter-revolutionaries, and these now go to my exhausted pile, which is good.
And then you're gonna, because you managed to score a hit, you win this battle as such, and you're gonna learn lessons from this. So we're going to look at the bottom of your card here.
Yep. So it says W win is arrogance. So there's a cube and there's a personnel card there. So you'll have to remind me what these icons mean, Joe.
I think that one probably means that he's actually going to gain a cube. Your leader there.
This card I think is the second, isn't it?
No, that means it's going to get put underneath his stack. So that's going to be one of these people who you could promote from inside the ranks.
I've never actually had that result before.
No,
So usually you would take your cube from ready, which is why I thought that Joe putting so many cubes in ready is a bit inefficient. We'll see whether I'm correct. But if I can't take from ready, I take from reserve, so that'll come up here.
Yep.
And then rather than actually placing this underneath, because it's not going to be easy for me to check that stack, given we're using TTS, I'm just going to place it in a column instead. We can see that this commander is the same but slightly different. Because they're a level 2 commander. So it could be someone that I want to promote because this guy's kind of full of himself and might get too big for his boots.
Yeah, it'd be a good way to get rid of him. And it would be essentially free for you to get rid of him, wouldn't it? Because you could just...
I would, in fact, gain a cube, I think, because the arrogance effect wouldn't transfer
over. Okay, then we go to the north. So in the north, I'm actually attempting to subjugate. Same. Okay. And when a ground commander subjugates, they need to be within 2 spaces of the dissidents. So I'm doing this here before I advance too far, essentially. So I'm attempting to subjugate the Kurdish dissidents, and Peter's going for the counter-revolutionaries.
Seems like it's not my commander who is arrogant.
Yeah. So we each draw a card then to try and get a match. I got 1 hit.
Okay.
On mine.
And I am looking for... Now, there's something to be aware of here. It's very tempting to assume that it's this commander, because they're geographically kind of closest. We're actually looking at the paramilitary commander here, and that is this commander. So I'm actually looking for pink or purple.
I actually made that exact mistake, and I did not get any hits.
Oh, no, perfect. I did get a hit. So down we go with the counter-revolutionaries, and then I learn lessons. So this time it's complacency. So my paramilitary commander thinks that this... Basically, killing dissidents isn't so hard, is it? So he's going to lose a hit, and he's going to lose it from the suit that we gained that hit in, which is purple. So I'm going to take this little token, and I'm going to pop that over there to cancel out that hit. So now this paramilitary commander is pretty poor and is probably going to get promoted over.
Okay, and I failed to suppress my Kurdish distance, unfortunately. So we come to the center, where I'm going to attack.
I am subjugating.
Interesting. And the subjugate will happen first, I believe, there, because it's a higher number. So go ahead and do that.
Yeah, so this is my guard commander. I'm looking for orange or purple. Get an orange. So I do another hit. And pop that over there. And then lessons learned. Rally, it says draw a card. And place this card underneath. So
okay,
he's using this combat against the counter-revolutionary in the Civil War to actually bolster my side, which is rare. Usually they just get complacent or arrogant, or they might be humble as well.
I'm using my paramilitary commander here to attack, and normally, so if Peter defended, we each draw a card and compare our strengths against each other, but in this case, I'm just attacking, and he's not defending. So this will be nice, like shooting fish in a barrel. Let's roll for my paramilitary commander this time. He did not manage to do any hits, though, which is unfortunate. So I won't learn any lessons because there wasn't any hits dealt, but after inflicting hits on Peter, which would have damaged his chevrons, we now compare total front strength, and mine is higher than his, so I'm going to advance even though I didn't inflict any hits on Peter. So I'm going to conquer Kazai-Shirin on the border, and refresh a cube, which I'll move from exhausted to reserve.
I anticipated happening, and I don't really mind because that's the only effect. There's no VP. It does mean that obviously he's coming in on Kermanshah, which is a VP city. It's 2 VP, but there's time to deal with this. We don't need to panic.
Good, glad to hear it. Okay, the southern front, I'm also attacking.
I'm subjugating. Yeah.
You're subjugating. I see. You're going for a new strategy here of full subjugation. Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Consolidate internally and then worry about the external threat. This is a very classic approach.
completely neglecting the war. Okay. Good. Glad to see it.
Yep. So we're using here the regular army commander. So he's looking for a pink or an orange, purple. So he misses. He's not going to learn any lessons from this. Maybe he is in fact an Arab dissident himself, and maybe replaced. So
he's got a pretty Persian-looking name, so I'm gonna this one. Okay. Southern commander here is attacking, and this one is my regular army commander. So let's see if he manages to hit. He did. So I rolled leadership, and I got 1 hit. So that removes 1 chevron from Peter's army, and he got arrogance as well, actually. So he's going to gain a cube from my ready here. Very nice. And he's going to advance as well along this front, which is good. So I take Khorramshahr, and a few things are going to happen here. Firstly, I get to refresh a cube again, which I'll do from exhausted to reserve. I also gain a victory point, so I'm on 1 point on war progress now. And Peter, in fact, gets to remove one of his Arab dissidents as they flock to his side instead, which is in fact what happened historically. So Saddam assumed that there would be a big Arab uprising against the Iranian regime, and in fact, a combination of things happened. Some of the Arabs, in fact, were just angry at being invaded by Iraq, but a lot of them also just moved away from the front by the regime, which might be what's happening here. Okay, so I've managed to advance on all 3 fronts. Very good. Taking a little slice of Iran. And then finally we'll go to the Navy, which is not my strong point, and we'll see what's happening. I'm defending.
I'm flipping the wrong thing. I'm attacking.
Yeah, and that's good because if you need to attack. Yeah, if you don't attack on at least 1 front each round, you lose regime power, basically, as people lose faith in you. So this is Peter's little demonstration of fighting.
Yeah, the regime
I'm
knows
defending.
what it's doing.
Yeah. I don't have any reinforcements to send though, so we'll just do a straightforward battle here. And
so my commander it doesn't really matter what I draw because any suit I draw. That's
well, you need to draw for the lessons learned though. Yeah.
So yeah, for lessons learned.
I got 1 hit too though, so we're not going to learn lessons.
I scored. Oh no.
We each did 1 hit though, so
Okay, that's a shame because I would have had a triumph.
There you go. Nice, good. So we each do 1 hit, but you still push me back because you have more chevrons there. So you take the Iraqi coast, which does
Takes the
get your
VP
VP back.
back, which is a little disappointing because every time we move from 1 to 0, we flip this counter. So I'm actually winning on the tiebreak, but it means that Iraq goes first, and there are some advantages actually to having the other side in the lead on victory points. So yeah, in a way, this isn't my ideal situation, but what I'm going to do is I'll probably just keep taking cubes from exhausted because there's plenty of scope for economy to move me into ready later.
Okay. So that's the end of the battle phase. We would go to a war victory check now. So if one of us had VPs equal to the current objective position, the game would end, but we're nowhere near. Then we go finally to the unrest phase. So first we look for public outcry. If a side hadn't played an attack, they would actually permanently lose one of their cubes. In this case, though, we both attacked, so that's okay. Then we're going to draw one of these dissident cards. Peter, I'll let you maybe draw that and talk through it. There you go.
So the dissidents, there's a few pieces of information on here. First thing to look at is the size of this hexagon. So the bigger it is, the bigger it's counted in terms of the tie break. So this, I think, is your Shia dissidents. This is your Kurds.
Yep.
So if we're comparing like who's smallest, who's biggest, at the moment the Shia are biggest, the Kurds are the smallest, the counter-revolutionaries are the second smallest, and the Arab dissidents are the second largest. Hopefully that makes sense. But we're going to go through for each size group, if that makes sense, like from the smallest to the largest.
Yeah, that's just a tiebreaker on a card, essentially. So we're looking at the least largest on the board.
So we're looking at the least largest on the board, and how we're going to do that is we're going to see, well, there's only one counter-revolutionary, so no effect for the counter-revolutionaries. Then we're going to look at the second least, and we're going to add a cube from exhausted to them. So that's Arab dissidents. And now the tiebreaker matters because there's 3 in Shia and 3 in the Kurds. So we know from before Shia are the largest. So third least is add a cube from ready. So Joe's going to take one of his cubes from ready. There's that inefficiency coming into play.
It's going to move to the Kurds. Yeah. Well, I still have more cubes ready than you.
Last but not least, we're going to have a mutiny among the Shia. So in the closest ground order space, place a random ground order marker in a random orientation.
That's actually not too bad for me, particularly as my Empower will let me see what they're doing. So I'm going to grab a random card order, and that's going to be closest to these is going to be this one, I think. Yeah. So tell me when to stop, Peter.
You can stop.
Okay. The Wheel of Fortune. So I'm not allowed to look at that till later on, and we'll see what it is then. Okay. Cool. So that is Unrest, and you'll see, yeah, Peter's subjugation paid off to some extent there, although he has lost ground. Finally, we're going to do a couple of things. We're going to do a coup check. So if one of our regime strengths is less than either a single commander or a connected group of commanders, we would suffer a coup. Connected means in terms of horizontal communications, which comes from coordination, which I mentioned earlier. In this case, though, Peter's strongest commander only has 3 cubes, and he has loads in his regime, so he's fine. And similarly, I'm fine. And then finally, if one of us has 0 cubes in our regime, they would immediately collapse and lose. But again, that hasn't happened, so we're going to proceed to round 2. So round 2, we will advance for turn marker, revealing which moves down the objective marker and reveals another desperate measures. In this case, it's re-education. If you've got 10 cubes across all your commanders, you get to remove any number of them, which is great. So you can get rid of your uppity commanders, which isn't quite relevant yet, but I feel could become relevant for Peter if his commanders keep getting arrogant.
Well, you get rid of your uppity commanders' cubes, don't you?
Yes, yeah, not the commander necessarily. That's right. Then we're going to do the economy again. I'll roll the dice, and Peter is now technically winning, so he's only going to draw 1 card, and I'm going to draw 2 cards, but we each get 4 cubes refreshed for our economy. And I'm going to do 3 from reserve to ready, and 1 from exhausted to reserve. Peter thinks I'm being foolish here, but we'll see. Oh, he's doing 4 as well. Okay, that's fine. And then we move into the action phase again, and continue... oh no, we need to place our orders first. Yeah, we place our orders, which I always forget, and then we'll do that. Okay. I still don't know what my 7th friend is doing, which is great fun. While Peter's doing that, one other thing I should have mentioned at the start is this is, of course, only prototype graphics for this game, which is still in development. And furthermore, some of the rules, as we're playing it, might still be liable to change in development. Although most of the game, I think, is working pretty well at this point. But yeah, don't be alarmed if things do change. I'm also liable to make up rules at the last minute just to make Peter lose as well. And if you have any questions about the game, feel free to leave a comment under this video or post a message on the Board Game Geek page. We'd be happy to give you more information about it. Okay.
Yep,
Looks
I'm
like Peter's
done.
ready.
Yep.
So this time, because Peter's technically in the lead, I get to take an action first. I'm going to empower straight away because it's my favorite action.
Technically in the lead.
Technically. This is going to let me put a cube on one of my commanders. I'm going to put it on my guard commander. Here's put a cube on my guard commander and assign a card to him, which is going to define what his battle card is. So presumably, I placed a further card there to make sure I do 2 hits with him.
You'd have thought.
You'd have thought so.
That seems like a sensible thing to have done.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to promote. And I'm going to promote from internally within my stack of my guard commander. So I've got this level 5 beast.
Sorry, I actually did that wrong, Peter, and this gives away information to you. Because you're not meant to know where the guard commander is, I meant to put that actually on the front.
So I didn't actually pay attention to...
Yeah, but that's fine. Doesn't matter too much. Yep.
Where you were doing that. So all good. Right, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take my 4 cubes. I get to keep this cube because I'm promoting from within the stack. Do I then discard this guy?
Yes, I think so.
Is that what it says?
Yeah, I think so.
Promote within a stack, blah, blah, blah. Doesn't
discard the rest of the stack.
Yeah, discard the rest of the stack.
Yep. So you're... Wow. Did you have enough cubes for that?
Yep.
Crazy. That's huge.
Okay. Because the economy dice wasn't great, it's my entire set of ready cubes for now. But yeah.
Don't you? The new commander's level though needs to be less than or equal to the current cubes on the stack.
Oh, does it?
Yeah, so you need to empower first to put more cubes down there.
That is a really good point, Joe.
It seemed a little bit alarming that you could get that commander up.
Yeah. Okay. That's me playing from your incomplete teach. I'm just going to claim. It's from me forgetting the requirements because I haven't actually read it. It's been a couple of weeks since we played this. All right, so apologies to the listeners / viewers. Yeah,
so you would need to... He'd either need to get some cubes from winning battles or you'd need to do some empowering to improve him.
Yeah, so I think what I probably want to do instead then is upgrade my power. That's the way to get cubes onto your guys, isn't it? Yeah, so there we go, empowered, upgraded.
I am going to pass to move a cube from exhausted to reserve. Which is a bold move. We'll see if Peter reciprocates.
Well, my plan has gone somewhat awry, but I don't really want to be. Let me just double check whether I was doing. Yeah. Yeah, what I'll do is I'll just discard a card from my hand to fill, my paramilitary commander.
Okay. I'm gonna empower again on the center front.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll pass.
Mhm.
I'll draw a card.
Okay. I will use. Well, I'm gonna improve my promote first,
Mhm.
and then see what Peter does.
So we're going with the
Okay.
same approach.
Yeah.
So I'm going to empower. And how do you do it? You do it on the front.
Yeah, and your empower though, because it's only level 1, you place a cube on it and then draw a battle card for it, and then you can rotate the order if you wish. So you don't get to place one from your hand yet.
Do I see it and then choose where I place it?
No, you choose the front and then put it on the front.
Okay. Yeah.
Yep.
So just double check. Yeah, it was that one.
And you put a cube on it as well from ready, which will then move to that commander. Yep. Okay. I'll use coordinate just to discard a card and put some chevrons. I'm gonna put them on my naval reserve.
I will.
You thinking about those desperate measures?
Yeah, I just want to remind myself what there was.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'll pass and draw another card actually.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I'll have to pass as well now, won't I? I'm gonna go. So that was actually gonna end. That's gonna end the round when I pass anyway. So I'm gonna go for the War for Cities and start bombing your cities.
Mhm.
So I roll 2d3 to see what the effect is. 3, which I think is no effect. Yeah, that's a shame. Okay, too bad. And then it's the end of that round. And we move on. So battles starting from air. I'm defending again.
Yeah, so on attack, which is 2. So
Which front? So at this point, Peter chooses a front to try and attack, and I can choose to intercept. And if I intercept, we have an air battle, and if he still has more chevrons, he'll do 1 damage to my front. But if I don't intercept, he might do more damage to my front.
yeah, let me just remind myself. Yeah, so that's going to be okay. That should be okay. Yeah, so I'll attack the southern front.
I'm defending, so I'll draw a card, and we'll see what we get. I did not get any hits.
Okay, so I draw a card, and I get 1 hit.
So that's 1 hit to my front, and then we get lessons learned. Mike actually suffered an injury, which is 2 lost cubes, and he only has 1 cube, so he's going to lose 1 cube to exhausted, and then an extra hit once you have no cubes means that commander is actually removed. So the head of my air force was flying a plane and got killed. It's bad, or died in a plane crash.
HQ is in the southern front, and I bombed it. Is probably more likely.
Which is not good.
Yeah.
What do you get?
Mine is humility. So, whilst being arrogant about bombing dissidents, he's learned humility. He's realised that he himself is also mortal, and is going to lose a cube to exhausted.
And you were bombing my southern front, and you win the air war here, so you've got more chevrons than me, but there's not advancing on this front, so instead of advancing, you just remove 1 of my chevrons from the south. Okay, north, I am subjugating with my guard commander, so I move this cube I'd already assigned to the guard commander, and then reveal that I'm doing further, obviously.
So you do
what
2
about
hits. I'm just defending, so I take my chevron, a single chevron.
So I get rid of.
If there was a battle, I would fight back. But there's not, so I don't.
So I've got rid of two of my Kurdish dissidents, and he wins, so it's complacency. So I'm going to lose one of those furthers, like Peter did. And this is where the coordination actually would be quite useful, and I have used it to good effect before. So if I had vertical communications here, I would be able to choose which result to pick from this. So I could have got rid of a cube from him instead of that. Okay, then
Central front.
the central front. Yeah, it is my paramilitary, and I'm attacking.
I am defending. I just realized I took my chevron from the wrong place, so we need to be placing that here.
Oh yeah.
Actually, that's the way it goes. Yeah, so this is my. I took it from the wrong place again. This is my paramilitary
now. Yeah.
Now it comes from my paramilitary into defend. Yeah, and I know what my battle card is. It's a purple, which is unfortunately a miss.
Okay, so that's the one you drew from that, but you do get a cube added to him. And I got 2 hits on mine because it's with further. So you take 2 hits on the central front there, which is going to be enough now. Well, I get my lessons learned first, so it's humility. So that paramilitary commander actually loses a cube, and then the card gets stacked there. But that means I get to advance on the center, which is great. So push Peter back.
This is what I was hoping to avoid.
Take command shot, so I can move another cube from exhausted to ready, and I gain 2 victory points this time. So I'm well ahead there. And Peter does lose more counter-revolutionaries. They've been fully suppressed. That puts me in a nice position. Okay. Then we move to the southern front, and who knows what I'm doing. I am regrouping, which is the last thing I wanted, because I do not have any... Oh, I do on my regular army. That's good. So at time 0, I'm regrouping. When are you regrouping, Peter?
I'm defending again.
Oh, what are you doing?
I'm going to be taking the card, chevron.
Okay, so there's no attack there, and I get to move. So with a regroup, I get to move all of my reinforcements, but I can only fit 2. But still, my southern front is nicely reinforced. Very good. And then naval. Finally, I'm also regrouping.
I'm attacking the tankers, which I think counts as an attack.
Yeah, it does, but I'm not defending, so you just get to do the attack straight through. And any hits you do go to my cubes instead of my chevrons.
Yeah. So this guy always does 1 hit, so we do 1 hit to you. So you lose a ready cube to exhausted.
And then you lessons learned as well, because it's still an attack. But I get to regroup and re-strengthen my naval front.
So we've got complacency, so I'm going to lose my ability to hit on discipline.
Yeah.
We're just attacking like wild men.
Exactly. Okay. Cool. And then that is the end of the battle phase. Yep. Nobody has won yet, although I'm getting closer. And then we go to the public outcry. There's no public outcry. We draw for distance again. Peter, do you want to do the honors?
So this time, there's no effect for the least, which is counter-revolutionary still. For second least, routing a cube from exhausted. So that's the Arab.
That's mine. It's my Kurdish, actually.
Oh, it's your Kurdish. Sorry.
Yeah.
Because you suppressed them.
Yeah.
Third least, add a cube from ready, and third least is tied now between the Arabs and the Shia distance, but I'm smaller, so I'm larger. So
so I move 1 from ready to there.
And then I'm going to roll a die and lose chevrons equal to the closest enemy ground front. How on earth did that end up happening?
No, I'm going to gain chevrons on this one because they're joining me via Arab distance.
Oh yes,
and my ground front's actually full, so it's not going to have any effect.
Oh, okay, that's not so.
Which is quite lucky for you. Yeah. Okay, but I'm doing pretty well on fighting the war, which is good. So again, neither of us, I don't think, is at threat of a coup or regime loss. There is one other thing actually we haven't been checking because it hasn't come up yet. After running through these dissidents, if one of them now has more cubes than the regime, then you lose a bunch of cubes. And this looks unlikely right now, but it definitely has happened to both of us in the past, particularly to Peter, I would say. Okay. We move into 1983 then. So that moves down. New lessons learned, crackdown on dissidents. Could be pretty useful. There's a risk that they grow bigger, but that's still useful. And this one resets as well, so we're allowed to choose War of the Cities again now. And we will roll for the economy. And both of us have got pretty good economies. We haven't suffered much damage to that yet.
Alright. So that's
cool. 6. Yep. I will one there. Do like that. There we go. Okay. Yeah, we're both going for similar kinds of strategies, so I think. Good. Although you have a lot more exhausted cubes than me. Okay, then we do that, and then you draw 3 cards this time. I just draw 1 because you're losing. And then we choose our orders.
Yeah, so you're going to go first, I think. No, I go first. You're in the lead.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We need to do orders first, don't we?
Yeah, we need to do orders. Yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Joe?
Mm-hmm.
Promote.
Yeah.
Promote within a stack if new commander level is equal to or less than cubes on the existing.
That says less. It says less than or equal to.
Yeah. New commander level. The commander level is less than. Yes.
Yes. Yeah. Yep.
Yes. Yeah.
Happy?
Oh yeah. That's how maths works. I don't know. In my head, I was like, new commander level has to be greater than the number of cubes. Is how I was reading that for some reason.
Yeah. I think you flipped the 2 pieces somehow.
In my brain, I did, which makes no sense.
Yeah. Okay. Need to focus really hard on what I'm trying to do here, which is really difficult. It's quite a simple game procedurally, I would say, but quite thinky in interesting ways, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm in quite a nice position now, but I think Peter might have some cunning plans for getting it back. We'll see. Okay.
I'm not sure that I do. I think I've messed up actually, but
Really? Okay.
we'll see.
Okay.
Really not good actually.
Cool. Here we go. And you're going to be taking actions first again, aren't you? Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm done.
Okay. Your first action then.
Mm-hmm. I think I'm just going to pass, and I'm going to crack down on the dissonance.
Yeah, I thought you might do that. It's tempting to. I was going to try and grab that. So.
Yeah, because I don't want you to grab it. So I'm going to
Your Arab
crack
distance,
down.
right? Yeah.
Oh, and I rolled a 2, which means I add a cube from ready to my distance.
Excellent. So complete. I'm gonna promote, and I can promote this new guard commander to replace my tired guy. Because I have 2 cubes. Just for Peter's benefit here, I need to have cubes on the guy there less than or equal to the level of the new one.
Yeah, it's on the guy less than the level, not.
I actually managed to say it completely wrong. Yeah, I managed to say it completely wrong. Yeah. It's a very simple concept actually. We're not really doing a great job of demonstrating.
You said it correctly. I was just reiterating why I got confused. Yeah.
There we go. So I promoted that new commander
than me.
Okay.
Great. I'm going to do the same. I'm going to promote this guy. So I'll take these 2 cubes, put them down, get rid of that, get rid of that guy, and promote my paramilitary commander up.
Yep. And we've both been focusing, as Peter said earlier, on the same 2 actions here, but I can promise there are definitely good strategies using the other 2. We just happen to have homed in on the same one today. I'm going to empower on my southern front here. Move a cube from ready to that one again.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to upgrade my empower.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that cube goes exhausted and you put 2 new ones on. Yep. And I am going to pass.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to pass, and what am I doing there? You know what? I'm just gonna do the War of Cities again,
Okay.
even though it didn't work last time. It's got to work this time. That's gambling for
Cool.
you. It's going to move the objective marker down, which I'm actually happy with because I'm ahead. I'm basically trying to
Mm-hmm.
throw Peter into submission here. But Peter could immediately pass and do that himself if he wants to, because the War of Cities allows you to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, I actually can't do War of Cities. Sorry, it has to be on lower VP. I lied. I can't do that, Peter.
Fair enough.
What I can do though is draw a card. Just well.
Hey. Yeah, so you passed, so I don't really want to be doing that. I always forget who's doing what.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm gonna discard a card from my hand and fill my regular commander.
I'm going to promote my regular commander from the ranks again. Because I managed to get some pretty good guys here. I think actually there's a lot of really nice systems in the game, but the lessons learned with the new commanders being added to the stack is a really interesting one. It gives you these kind of semi-random opportunities to bring in promising young bucks.
Young bucks, indeed. So I should have chosen one of these. So I can pass safely now. So that's what I'll do. And what I'm going to do with that.
You could do War of Cities, but you probably don't want to.
Cities, but I don't really want to drag down peace.
No.
My economy's not lower than yours, and I don't have 10 cubes or more. So what I will do is just refresh.
Yep.
Or maybe I do want to draw someone.
You have a pretty big hand. Yeah. You could be in a decent position to go for your nuclear program.
I'll just refresh.
So I'm going to use my Empower order to add chevrons to my reserves, but the Empower, if Peter has a look at it now, Empower level 2 lets me do 2 of these for 1 card discarded, so it becomes more efficient. So I'm essentially using my NCO Corp to improve my reserves here. I'll do these, and I will do my paramilitary there. Okay. Then it's your go, Peter. And Peter can just carry on passing now, so that kind of puts the impetus on me to decide whether or not I'm going to end it.
Yep.
But I'm feeling pretty pleased with my position right now.
I'm feeling really, really bad about it.
It's sure you spent your whole first turn just subjugating, Peter.
I'm not sure that was the right move.
No.
It should have counterattacked you.
You completely ignored the fact there was a war going on and subjugated.
I kind of did.
That did happen. I've been reading about the war, and it did happen later on in the war when there was kind of a stalemate on the front lines, who would then turn to their internal matters. But early on, they had to kind of achieve that stalemate first. And I think in previous games, Peter, we've reached the state where neither of us has like any functioning armies at all. We're just completely exhausted each other. But right now, that's not the case. I'm pretty fresh.
I am empowering my.
You choose a front, remember?
Something front.
Yeah.
My older front. And I get to choose now because I've upgraded my power. So it's from my hand, isn't it?
From your hand, exactly. Yeah. Yeah. You can still choose a random one, I believe, if you want to.
No, that's all good.
Yep. And we've only upgraded these to level 2. They do go up to level 4. So level 4 in power, for example, would allow you to do any number of these orders and place them from your hand onto each one, which is great. And draw extra cards as well. So you'd be really just in a great position then. All of your friends would be working really well at the cost of empowering lots of people. I'm going to actually invest in coordinate. So I'm upgrading my coordinate to limited lesson sharing, which is going to allow me to place vertical comms marker, which will let me choose which lesson my commanders learn after battles, which can be good for preserving. Thanks, Peter. Got Keeper. Yeah, good for preserving quite effective commanders. And then at higher levels, you get into vertical or horizontal comms as well.
Yep. Whilst I've got the opportunity, I'm going to upgrade my promote. It's not something I'm going to be able to take advantage of this turn, but ready for next turn.
Okay. I will now pass, so I can try and use my comms, and I'm going to draw a card when I pass.
Okay. I think I will pass as well.
Okay. So that will, yeah, he can.
And refresh keep.
Yeah, Peter has to try and make this judgment about whether he's got more to gain or not from continuing, and at this point, he thinks not. Okay. Air first, which is my main weakness, I will say. So let's see. I'm just defending in the air. Yeah. I will defend again just to try and stop you bombing my fronts, essentially. Which front are you going for?
So again, I keep forgetting what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I'll bomb the southern front again.
Okay. Oh, I don't even have a commander in the air. I'm so stupid. I should have promoted new air commander, but I didn't. I neglected to do that.
Can't actually place an order, Joe. So.
Yeah, I actually can't place an order. So you just get to. Yeah, they don't do anything. You get to move it.
I don't actually draw a card or anything, do I? Or
you do to see how many hits you do.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, I want a pink. Please be a pink. No, not a pink.
So you remove one of my chevrons still. Oh, from the south, you said.
From the south, yeah.
Yeah. You do, however, get to take the lessons learned from that still.
Okay, so I lose a cube, basically. Humility.
Yep.
So this guy is...
Yeah, my air force is in complete disarray. But never mind. Doesn't matter, we're doing great on the ground. The Northern Front, then. I'm defending.
I'm attacking.
With my regulars. Okay, so I get to move this here.
Yep.
And then we will draw a card for it.
Yeah, I've already got my card, so I know I'm doing one hit.
I'm doing 2 hits to you further. So actually, I win the battle, but if your chevrons were larger, you would still push me back. And my lessons learned is rally, so I draw a card and add that to the stack here.
And mine is shame, which means I exhaust a cube.
Ooh, just from your own pool. Bad. Okay. Cool. Great. Then we go to the ground center. I'm attacking on the center.
I'm regrouping, so that goes last.
My paramilitary leader is attacking. I didn't get any hits, so.
Oh, that's good.
But I still wait. Which is this center? I still advance. Oh no, I still advance though, because that happens first before you regroup.
Oh, does it? Shit.
Yeah. The full battle's resolved first. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you can't swear for our gentle American audiences. Okay.
I said
and that's my paramilitary
in a British accent.
Yeah. I don't learn any lessons though, because I didn't inflict any hits on you. Yep.
Yeah, okay, I'm doing really, really badly, and I'm slightly embarrassed that this is the one we've chosen to record, but we'll keep playing.
Maybe we'll show them the other one as well. We'll see. Okay. Southern Front. I'm attacking with my guard commander, who's doing 2 hits. Because I've already invested in him.
Okay, that's horrible. I'm attacking with my promoted. What's this guy? Paramilitary commander. So hopefully I draw a good card here. Pink or orange? Pink. So I do 2 hits on you as well.
So that means neither of us learn lessons, but I still managed to advance because I have more chevrons than you there.
Yeah, this is really bad actually.
That's going to get me 2 points. The funny thing is, you lose an economy. So I've actually got have I got to Abadan? So this is one of the main oil producing areas. So I've conquered that, and it does remove some of your dissidents. But you're actually one interesting thing here. I think you've overinvested in subjugate because you would be losing dissidents from me attacking you anyway.
I lost 2. So yeah. Should have bombed the Arab dissidents, not the counter-revolutionaries, for optimal.
Yeah, you need to leave a few dissidents to keep things going. Okay. Naval, finally. I'm actually attacking.
I'm regrouping.
Interesting. So my attack does no hits, but I've still got more than you, so I'm going to push you back here.
I do 1 hit, so you don't have more than me.
No, you don't draw a card because you're regrouping.
Oh, of course I don't.
Yeah. So I push you back.
Yeah.
Which will actually get me a point, which might win me the game, I think. And I move from exhausted to reserve. Yep. Okay, and then you do regroup though, so you play so fair. The dissidents might change things. We'll need to see. Oh no, we go to victory check first, actually, don't we? War victory check. Yes.
I think that's
So-
a decisive loss.
I think that is a decisive victory, yeah, because we go to war victory check now. My VP equal where the objective marker is. So in 1983, Saddam Hussein manages to exact concessions from the Islamic Republic, which I'm not asking for much. All I want is recognition for my territorial claims to a small stretch of river down here. That's all I want.
That's what it's all about.
Yeah, that's what it's all about. I think probably I might have demanded more of a situation, but I get some kind of peace that satisfies me and makes you feel sad. There we go. So that was quicker than we anticipated, perhaps, because Peter played so badly. But that is Chalice of Poison, and I think we've shown you kind of mostly how the game works. But again, if you have any questions or comments, please post them under the video or get in touch on BGG or elsewhere, other channels, and we'd be happy to talk to you more about the game. And if you've enjoyed this gameplay video as well, please let us know, and let us know how we could kind of do it better in future, because we're planning to do some more videos of this kind to show you how different prototype games on the P500 system work, so you can get a better sense of them. And let us know as well if there's any games you particularly enjoy seeing more details about. Thanks very much. Peter, any final comments?
Just, if you're ever thinking about playing conservatively and defensively, it's not a good idea. Like, you should attack.
Well, I'd say the main issue, it wasn't the lack of, it was the lack of defense either, Peter. You didn't defend or attack in the first round.
Yes.
You just retreated, just ran away.
Yeah, I think
anyway,
understanding how promote works was
yeah.
something to make sure you understand what you're doing. When you're making your plans, make sure you know what you're actually doing, which is one of the key things about this game, is that neither side really knew what they were doing, and that's what it's trying to represent. So
yeah, that's how I enjoy teaching it. I don't tell anyone how to play properly. Yeah, that's what Peter was doing. Anyway, if you're tuning in late somehow, despite this being pre-recorded, this is Chalice of Poison, available on P500 now, designed by Akar Bharadvaj. So take a look, check it out, and let us know what you think. Thanks very much for watching.
thank you.